opinion.
Oh my goodness. Shio is asking for the world when it comes down to it. 33 trios and Starks. Madness would ensue, but the madness is still happening here right in front of us as we're here. 2 games left. Game 11 and Game 12. I am Sancho West alongside with Sundown. Together we form, ready for it? Sancho. Hey,
I'm not against it. I'm not against it. I think Sancho is a good place to start. I think yes. We can figure something out from there.
Yes. Hey, I'm not gonna take full credit. That came from Zeke. Zeke already throwing out Sun West. That sounds like a breezy drink, but someone that's feeling really breezy and feeling good is Scram, Refsguard. What a great trio win that they had right there in Stompy with a textbook execution from the Advanced Architect book from the Shio Wager School of Dubs. And we kind of saw it happen there for a moment there. What they kind of did was they took height. It was a very aggressive high ground take, and they were able to do it. A 200 HP pump from a shotgun opened the door, and they just basically ran away from it, holding on to height the rest of the way. They did a textbook split Sundown, where they sent 2 people down below of Resguard and Scram, kind of created so much chaos down below, while Stompy sat on ultimate height, and before you know it, they walked away with that victory royale.
And what's really nice about that in particular is you've been talking about wanting to see kind of that signature victory coming out from this trio.
Yes.
As they've all performed in so many different levels. They've been veterans of so many different tournaments, whether it's going back to the skirmishes or the World Cup performance that Stompy put on, where literally everyone penciled him in as just straight up the best player in the world for the number of qualifications he got. We haven't really seen that as of late. So for them to actually put it all together, it was nice to see them get the execution, close the game out, get the points they needed. That makes me feel a little bit more confident about them going into heats tomorrow.
And it's the confidence.
Next week,
next it's going to feel to them that it's going to feel like it's tomorrow, you know. A whole week they're going to have to sit and wait, plan, go into scrims, do VOD reviews, late nights, all that kind of stuff. And at the same time, some of our competitors have to juggle school. That is going to be a tough thing. And we're seeing it just like NCAA college athletes having to juggle school and these high competitive play. That's what we're kind of dealing with at the moment. And some trios and some competitors could do really well with that pressure, and some could just collapse. But we're seeing the players that needed to step up, those trios that needed to perform really well, like deal with Mappy, they were able to step up and be in contention to getting in that top 15.
And what we saw for the first time in what felt like a while up in the elimination feed is Matzo actually going down early there. So some contestants still happening over in the ruins as Fly is able to convert on that elimination. We're going to hop back on board here with Falcon League, Yaxuo, and Skite all the way over there, just chilling, getting as much loot as they can, trying to maximize those hard mats and then begin their rotation towards the center. They are going to be on that less populated side of the zone, so shouldn't necessarily have to deal with too many players. As we're going to hop on board here, Tayson, Mongrel, farming on the outsides here. Mitro is still up, so looking like they're taking a little bit more of a cautious approach to this contestation.
And this is going to be interesting to watch going forward into the heats. Already, Jaspace Trio was on the other side in the main building, and now we're watching Mongrel's Ghostbuster Trio here, sitting here. And will they take this passive route? You know, Mongrel we've seen could clutch. He had an amazing pop-off clutch, a 1v3 against Jaspace Moraine and Lunef. And he kind of woke up his neighbors, maybe woke up his mom. He kind of popped off and said he called them mushy. And he put them down into the mush very quickly. So Mongrel, Tayson, and Mitro still having the condition to drop, still have some neighbors here asking for that brown sugar, and they don't want to give any.
I mean, I wouldn't want to give any either when you've seen just how successful they can be coming out of Stark, and they're trying to set a little bit of ambush. However, I don't know if they know that all 3 of the players are in there. However, Tayson going to open up the door. He finds a Peely right away. Mies is going to end up going down. Good conversion there. You can see a knock coming in from Mitro as well. He's going to pick up the second. That makes it a 3v1, and Mitro finds it for his double 3 in total, and they're immediately going to begin trading out. But the henchmen trading some shots back.
Hey, the Stark robots created by Tony Stark, are showing that they could be deadly in its own way. So that's what made that 1v3 from Mongrel, the big growl, so impressive, that he was able to navigate that main building and still pop off there. But you're just seeing the opportunists of Lunev, Moraine, and Jasper. As soon as they saw Mongrel's trio in a battle, they decided to, hey, it is time to go ahead and take a peek. And there it is, the retreat. The horn has been sounded. They're going to go ahead and back away from this battle, knowing that it's just not enough. They did get a couple of good tags, but here it is. They're disengaging. They're not going to go ahead and push all the way through.
You can see in the top left, Airwalks and Leo picking up some eliminations themselves. It's another fight that's happening around here as we're going to swing just over the side of the cliff. We saw Skype, Falconly, and Yagso in a fight. You can see Yagso being backed off a little bit here. However, they have already converted on one of their eliminations, so this is a 3v2.
This is going to be a tough situation there. I mean, this is the story of the top of the board, just gatekeeping the people out entirely of the Heat 1 and Train Hard, a great rising org here, doing really well, having some big names already qualifying into the Heats, are just showing their prowess and showing how good they are in the EU side of things. And this is tough, man. When you're already, when it feels like a quicksand moment and everything that you could do, you're fighting for everything. You're like you're cornered into it, you know. And then you have someone such deadly as Falconry, Yasuo, and Skype just pushing and trying to convert you into just kind of not necessarily meaningless leaderboard points, but in the scheme of things, yes.
I mean, they want to convert. They want to continue getting this pressure, showing they can execute regardless if you make these finals. You're a worthy opponent in some way, shape, or form. But Seiko Pepe going to go down there as well. Again, we've talked about it. T-Lec will finally be cleaned up, and that's 3 eliminations going over to the Train Hard trio. I mean, they are incredibly scary in these early and mid-game fights. They pincer down on you. They look to try and isolate somebody. And once they know they have an advantage, they're not afraid to use the appropriate amount of utility to get the elimination.
They train hard. Shio is trying to build a workout plan for Zeke, that 3-day plan. I don't know. If I was Zeke, and I don't know how long it will take. Midbar will take more than 3 days to get it done, because you definitely got you do your sit-ups right. You got to tuck your tummy tight to be able to go ahead and do this. So let me just take a look at how it all unfolds here. We're taking a look at an old school way of Doom's Domain. I dropped Sir6 and Vettel here, making an appearance. We've been seeing them, another type of trio that we're asking what's happening to them. They were standing on loose ground, and all of a sudden they were able to come right back up top, get into that in-game situation, letting us know, the audience know, that, hey, we're still going to be a top trio going into that Heat situation.
And the key here is to noticing the loadouts is who has the shields, who has the heals for the late game, and where is the utility. Generally, the utility is either on the IGL for the rotations or on the playmaker for the option on the backside of the zone and the late storm takes. Generally see the heals on the one who's going to end up playing safe.
And those is the who, what, where, when, and sometimes why. And sometimes, yikes, because now I drop Vettel and it looks like Sir6 are sitting in deep inside the storm. And the good news is, though, they're going to have a great backup for them to sit in that vault. Now we're going to leave that story to see. Baby Girl, that trio, have been picking up so many kind of picks here and there. They've kind of been fighting for their life, and they've been going up against big names, clashing. And we have Queasy, Milan, and Chapix. They're here to the clash, and we saw that battle going down right now. And Monster, this is a strong opportunity, though, for at least to get some elims to let you know, hey, I went toe-to-toe against Milan, Queasy, and Chapix, and at least I got a knock out of that. And yeah, there it is. They're just so close. They're trying to get them through as much as possible. And there it is. Chapix, Milan, and Alex, a.k.a. Queasy, feeling breezy. They're going to keep moving up, and there it is. They went ahead and disengaged. And yeah, you can disengage. You can breathe for a sigh of a moment, but the beams are going to go ahead and come through. No connection. Yes. Fly gets swatted out like a fly, gets taken down. And there is another rift to go right there. And we're just seeing how deadly it can be to glide over. And we already know Vettel, iDrop, and Star6 are sitting right here and there.
And there you guys have it. And you can see the fights breaking out, but they're continuing it back into the storm, reinitiating. And this is just the aggression right here, Sancho. Like we said before, I'm stepping in for Sundown here. It's just been a crazy day of Fortnite. It's a crazy day up and down here as Alexa actually gets taken out. So taking on more than they can chew here for a second. And it's up to iDrop7, who all of a sudden is now at max HP. He has the health lead here outside of just Baby Girl on the other side of the wall there.
Oh, Baby Girl knocking on that front door, but this is all about pride here at this moment. We got 2 games left, Game 11 and Game 12, Monster. A very, necessary fight in the scheme of things. So this could be the fight that you could go ahead and take the resources. You may find those shockwaves. You may find that health. All that kind of stuff could butterfly effect and lead you to a victory royale. But now we're going to zoom back into the chaos that's unfolding here in Doom's domain. And no doubt, Victor Von Doom must be happy to see all this chaos unfolding on his front doorstep.
Yeah, definitely here. As we jump back with Chapix now, let's see how it's going to play out. He's got the axe. It's going to be the wall take as well. The big pump follow-up, and that's a shield crack. He doesn't know someone's inside the cone, though. Okay, a little bit of an answer back from that player down on the low ground. And all of a sudden now, he's ticking. The clock is continuing to burst on down. One siphon to recap him back up. Can he just get one right now? It's a beautiful battle, though. It's like a two-way battle right here. This is like a sneak peek of what duos is going to look like. Take a look at that. McNuck is taken out right there. And at least the siphon is going to turn over for him. So it's a tit for tat. It's a trade for trade here. Chapix and Holy now both have gotten a little bit of a siphon here to still stay in the game and honestly extend the battle, but not for much longer as Chapix puts the crown on his head. He's the king of the storm today.
King of Doom's domain battle that just unfolded there, Monster. What a talk about some back and forth haymakers fighting in that purple haze. And Chapix is going to go ahead and reboot his trio using that reboot fan. And I like the good thing is you could kind of afford these storm fights into this situation, considering that the vault is still active. We saw other regions kind of like dip into the vault after this. And speaking of a storm fight, we're talking about the power POIs of Doom's domain and Stark Industries, and it is still here. Mongrel versus the Jaspe trio. And you talked about all different regions. This is one of those fights that are going to kind of echo throughout all the other regions. And we kind of mentioned this before in different broadcasts. I wonder, does the NAEs kind of keep tabs on what's going down in EU side of things? I have to wonder that, Monster. You're doing the shoutcasting with Aussie Antics in the NAEs. Is that true? Do you think they kind of keep tabs on each other?
Yeah, I mean, you see it all the time, right? When players like Benji pop off, the tweets go up, everyone's talking about it. It's the talk of the community. The Fortnite community is very tight-knit from EU to the NA West region. I think for what it's worth, definitely everyone's watching. We all know you got to put respect on these players' names. All of them definitely deserve to have it. Marine here, though, is trying to put something big up. Mitro doesn't have a lot of HP. This is coming down to the siphon as well. And now, all of a sudden, he needs to come in. Mitro looking a little bit more desperate, though, because he doesn't have the shield advantage. Little does he know that Marine is ready to go down, and he does. It's a trade. It's a 1-for-1. And now Jaspe gets his siphon from Mongrel. And all of a sudden, I think Jaspe has the HP lead here, too.
And the HPs are ticking, and times are ticking right here, right now. And I think we're seeing that the EU region's playing a little loose. Some of our teams that are already qualified are at this point getting the reps in, making sure they got a clean rep, making sure they got all the muscles tight, and making sure that they're not going to have any mistakes going into the heats. It's only a week away, folks. Heats 1 and Heat 2 will happen, and then we have Wild Card Wednesday. That's going to be exciting as the top 32 teams does not make it in. They got one opportunity, but at least Jaspe could say, hey, we win this encounter. And Moraine and Jaspe and Lunef are going to survive for a brief moment here in this game, Monster.
And not only that, they got the reboot cards as well because it was within that tight window, that tight time frame. So Jaspe
I don't know how they
be able to pick up the team. Yeah, definitely. And I mean, he pulled it off. They have the Volt key card there as well. So this is going to come with the the good grace of the Volt and everything else. It's going to be a complete bounce back. Wait a second. Jaspe looks like he's going to throw in the towel here, feeling like it might just be out of the running.
Wait,
Yeah, the card.
Hey, they got the reps in, I know.
I guess.
They got the reps in, got that superset in, could go ahead and boom, boom, and you're out the gym, you know what I'm saying? They're going to go ahead and leave. And so, oh my goodness, of course, my mistake is not the Wild Card Wednesday. It's the Wild Card Game. And that is what we're talking about, the Wild Card Game where only the Victory Royale winner gets in at number 33 trio. And that's not going to be an option here, Monster, for Mappy's team. That option's gone. The option of making it in as a cumulative series point, out the door. The only option here is to qual. qualify in the top 15, and they're there. They're in right now. But like we noticed, it could take a matter of bad games back to back. You could get a goose egg. You could have a bad drop spot. You could get sniped out of midair. Your rotation could fall short of that top 17 placement. These are all the doomsday scenarios. But Mappy says, Sancho, slow down with that doomsday talk. I'm here flying, and I'm here vibing with 2 elims on Queasy and Milan.
Yeah, that's a massive sniper right there. Definitely open up this entire engagement. The AR fire coming in here as well. And honestly, we got a great wide map shot there to give you an idea. Look at how many indicators, how many factors are just nearby. This is the huddle up on the western side of the zone right now. And with how many players are firing in, I don't think anyone over there is going to survive to tell the story. And if they do, I mean, he's not going to have a lot of resources to back him up for the later portion of the game. So, Sancho, it's not looking too good. Look at the pressure here and there. Finally, the siphon ticks over. Chapix falls. And, I mean, they caught a couple of elims that game, but still, they are very much at the bottom, on the bubble of being just inside the top 15.
Yeah, they're right now 9th place, 122 on the cumulative board here that's happening. And this slip out of it, it's going to require a big-time collapse as the 15th place is held down by Fremont, 7-Tor, and Link at 67 points before going into this match. Shio talked about that team, Fremont, who had a clutch performance. They're going to have to clutch again because their inconsistent ride is going from winning the victory royale to losing so quickly. So that is so hard to have those back-to-back performances to stay consistent. If you're out there knowing how many times this broadcast has said it, it means it's important. It's probably one of the most important things, and it's always a sign of respect in that Fortnite community when you could say, yo, this player right here, very consistent.
Yeah, definitely. And just consistency is what matters. And I want to stress more that, once again, Alexa, Milan, and Chapix right there at 14th place were just taken out. That's the problem of having extended storm fights. You come in late, and you can just land on top of players, land on a cluster, and especially when the zone's going to favor that kind of side. So a little bit of a unfortunate pull, but again, the decision to stay in the zone, you're going to see it pay off in a lot of negative ways there as Wolfie's now trying to do something big here. Honestly, this team has been the most impressive, I think, just by far over the last 2 days, right? A team that needs to clutch up, and they're doing it here.
And it's one of those trios, Monster, to let you go like, wait a minute, Wolfies and Kinzel CRR are for real. I mean, they're for real solo players, but they're a for real trio. And already, you know, as we see as Swee's picking up an Elim and Blaster gets taken down, it's just a matter of just beams following that tracking. Big time Wolfies, Kinzel, and CRR. We all know solo, mechanically, they're going to be a tough out. But as a trio, now we're going to start saying, yo, they might be a tough out here as Alpha and Nikov are trying to do the thing. As down goes Nikov. I think, did Nikov get like taken out right there? Did someone confirm him from a distance?
Yeah, I think so. Exquisier found Jam side there as well, as Deceptos is going to fall in the feed. So that's one player down, or at least knocked from the number one team right now, at least the consistent wise. We saw how tight it was between first and second place, so it is still very interesting at the top. Let's not forget there's big prizing on the line. So both sides, one, finding Elims. Second place is going to find Elims. First place is going to lose a player. So all of a sudden now it's not neck and neck anymore. The tables are changing here. The landscape is shifting as now a big rotate's going to come in from CRR. They're going to make it safely here. The half and half out down the elevation curve as well, but they got that mountainside preference there, so that's probably going to help out a ton.
And you may be thinking, is this deja vu? Yes, in the previous game, we had it in-game in Weeping Woods, and that's when we saw Refsguard, Scram, and Stompy able to take a high ground retake and able to push their way and vault their way into a victory royale by having a very textbook high ground performance. Will we see that repeat again with CRR and Kens? Oh, no, the greed is too real. And we're talking about it. Sometimes you just stick around a little bit too long, and you get booted out of the club. Hey, the lights are on, time to go, and CRR is maybe left behind here as Wolfie and Kinzel, or did they get him back up? That's just a scary thing, dude. Scary.
Yeah, he got him right back up. It was the instant pickup there, and I think Wolfie's going back on defense. But hold up, Train H is going to find some big knocks here, and they're down on the low ground. This is going to be a scrappy fight here. As you can see, the shots are coming in from the left, the right, and the bottom. That's the problem with these mid-ground fights. You got to be super careful, but this is worth it because they have the Storm rotate to lean into as well. So with Zone 7 just around the corner, now refreshing their loot here, Sancho, this is a beautiful time to excel in the low ground and take control.
Absolutely. In the mid ground, you could just see there's builds below and on top of them. That means they're on it. They have to be careful. We've been seeing this meta, this strategy of the low ground teams kind of taking out floors right underneath it, and they'll pretty much catch like Skite, who's on the back end, who's trying to do his best to kind of beam people as we're seeing up a nice shockwave play, and that is the time that Sundown was talking about. Just taking that little bit of time to kind of get you all together, but it doesn't matter. The rest of the lobby saw that trajectory, and Skite taken down. We saw a quick revive with CRR. I don't know if Trainhard Trio is going to be able to pick up Skite in this chaos. And look at it, Monster. The chaos is kind of breaking all out everywhere.
Yeah, this is not looking very good for them. Definitely losing a member here as Letwick is going to fall there in defeat as well. So all of a sudden now players are dropping. This is where the most players do fall, though. This is that second wave that comes crashing on in. It hits the shores. It hits it hard as well. So if you're not sticking hip to hip with your teammates, it's not going to be looking very good. As Snyayan here is trying to make his rotate. Mappy's on the only one up here as Left Eye is no longer in the game. Okay, but they are still with one another. It's not looking too hot, though. He has to back up.
Oh
wow,
my,
it's going to actually favor back, so a little bit of luck here.
Yes, yes, and this is the scary moments as a trio, is when you separate. It's, I don't know, if you ever got lost as a kid, it's probably the scariest thing. You look behind and they're gone, and their trio mate is gone, but now Fayen has to do it all by himself as Mappy is still barely holding on. Look at it, just a sliver of HP. The cabbages will be the play, and no doubt
he gets
somewhere.
Edited down.
Oh, see, you gotta watch out. You're at the main ground, you can get edited down just like that.
Such an unfortunate circumstance there. The most healthy on the team. We saw how weak his teammate was. It's not looking too hot. On high ground, though, Stepter manages to use that sniper opening and then concludes or continues to hold it out. So they had that little bit of zone favor, and they take full advantage of it. And now it's Light and Stepter on height. Here's Tree and H down on the low ground now. 3 eliminations to follow up. A big pump there as well. And Squeezier's doing just that too. So we have a full trio up on the top camera box. We have a trio that looks like they're falling apart here, but the Elans racking on in.
And it is Squeeze on your top right that has the opportunity to overtake first place, being held by Hin, Patrick, and Deceptos. So that's going to be the story on your top right. On the bottom, it's Train Hard sitting on the low ground. There are only just 2 of them. It's Yasuo and Falconry trying to hold on for Skite. But on the high on your left side, it is Scram, who's kind of just sneaking away. Maybe he takes it. Yes, Scram does have it, but he is... Oh, is that Restguard? No, is that Squeeze challenging Scram? The battle for height is on as the storm pushes back.
Yeah, the battle for height definitely commences. Scram's going to get punished. He has to go down, and now Squeezer manages to keep the height. Crash pads being the key to success here, and it's his. You can see it there now. Pressure, he can do what he will with it. Another crash pad across here now, and yes, he can continue to hold out high ground. Someone's here. We know that's probably Scram. No, it was Blackie coming out the storm line. That Siphon's going to work out. He doesn't even need to thirst it, not at all. He's going to let it sit there so that he can get that heal later into the game now. This is all, again, falling in their favor. This is the first place run now to take the lead here as the cumulative points for the day 2 format. What a way to end out, or at least continue strong in the back portion of the games now. 8 eliminations.
And just showing how strong of a player you need to be if you want to hold on to height. As all the way up there is Giannis, as Squeeze is doing such a good damage right there, and below is Analix. We're seeing a strong trio now just buzzing the way through all the way to the ultimate low ground. 200 pump goes down. It's just a matter of moments. Cooler ZQ goes down. The only thing is up is Train Hard's members only doing their best.
Is still up.
Yes, and there it is, the most decorative trio that we have. A solo champion, a duo champion, walking away with the Victory Royale, and Monster, that is the second Victory Royale that they got today.
Yeah, and this was probably the most dominant. 12 eliminations there. Healthy teammates as well. I talked about Jonas still being up because that Squeezer got hit pretty hard. All of a sudden, looked like it could have went either which way, but way to clutch it out.
Way to clutch it up, and I know my mind is thinking about that Wild Wild West